Welcome to Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Hey, we're going to unpack some questions, interview some guests, have a little fun together. Come on, let's get to it. Hey, thank you for joining in to Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. So, last week we spoke with Dr. Elise Cortez, and she spoke of two whispers. The whispers were constantly seeking to improve and talking about a loss. And I wanted to unpack a little bit more about constantly seeking to improve. When I think about that phrase, I think about practice. Someone studying all the time. When we improve on something, you have to constantly be doing something active, engaging in order to improve whatever that talent or that skill is, right? It reminds me of a time, it's like running through a finish line, right? And it reminds me of a time when my oldest daughter, used to run track when she was in school. And Coach Orlando, she ran track for the North Texas Cheetahs. Her coach was Coach Orlando. One thing, and he had all girls team, y'all. All girls. So one of his pet peeves was that, and when you're running a race, any race, you run through the finish line. You don't slow poke to the end. You don't just slow down. You don't walk. You definitely do not walk through the finish line. So in one particular race, my daughter ran a 200-yard dash. She was running that race. So in a 200-yard dash is you start on the opposite side of a track field and you run the curb and you run the straight. So every time Ashley came around that curb, here's her mama. I was that parent in the stands, y'all, who was screaming. I was one of the loudest ones that can be heard. So while she's coming around that corner, I was saying, dig, Ashley, dig, dig. That means pull up all the strength, all the energy you can. Dig, dig. She could hear me on that field, on that track field. And as soon as she started coming around that curb and getting to the straight, all right, this is the last part. The straight is where you run through the finish line. So I'm walking up and down the bleachers and I'm saying, dig, run, 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 run. I was just running. I mean, I'm walking up and down the bleachers. I'm not running as fast as she was. But I am trotting or walking as fast as I can down the side saying, dig, run, 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 run through the finish line, run through the finish line, run through the finish line. And her coach is in the infield saying the same thing. Run through that finish line. You better not stop. You better not stop. Run through that finish line. I could still hear Coach Orlando saying that today. So funny. But I think about that. That is a life skill, y'all. Think about it. We can't stop. We can't slack off. We can't just take our time on our talent, on our purpose, on why we're here. So God put us here to do something, right? And most of us, it's going to take practice. Some of us were just born with that gift and we just know it and it just comes off with no practice, no energy at all. But for the other ones, like myself, we do have to practice. We have to practice. And what if I fail? Okay, you fail fast. When you fail, reevaluate it. What did you learn? What can you improve on? Why didn't it work? Why did you fail? Get some feedback. You need to know all of these things. If something fails in your life, you need to find out why it failed. And once you find out why it failed, if it's within your power, within your strength to improve it, do it. And once you improve it, guess what? Constantly seeking to improve, you practice, you study, and you what? Run through the finish line. Come on, we got to make a life of running through the finish line and getting it right. That's part of our purpose. Our purpose, why we're here, is to run through the finish line of life. We run through this journey of life. And while we're running through this journey of life, you're going to meet some amazing people in your life when you take that time to enjoy the journey, enjoy the race. The race shouldn't be hard. I don't think so. I don't think the race should be hard. I think the journey should be enjoyable, because our journey includes all of the gifts and talents that we possess, the things that fulfill us, the things that make us happy. All of that is included in our journey, in our race. And those are enjoyable, right? If they're not, talk to me offline. So, I want to leave you with that thought. Run through the finish line. And if you fail fast. Find out what didn't work. Get the feedback. Apply the corrective action needed and run the race again. Keep running the race of life until you win. How do you know when you win? Oh, you'll know. You'll know. All right. That's all we have for today. Join me next time on Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Until then, have a blessed day.